Good morning, Becky.
Good morning, Bonnie.
You look really nice today.
Well, thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
kind
You
of
do
happy.
too.
I'm kind of happy to be back in your kitchen because it looks so pretty behind you and
Yeah,
all of your nice dishes. So,
yeah. And today, with what we're doing, it was just hard to cook in the park. So today, we decided to bring it back to my kitchen.
well, we don't have the magic oven out in the park either. So,
Yeah, that's
although
true.
the mayor, they love their hero subs and everybody over in the city building and the sheriff's office. So, that was a nice thing to do. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. One of the fellows over there caught me yesterday. I was in one of the parks walking around, and he said they were delicious. So I'm glad our heroes enjoyed our hero subs last week.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I
Yeah.
know the mayor loved the brownies from the week before,
Oh,
so he
yeah.
did say he didn't share them as much as he took them home and hid them for later.
He did. He did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. Well,
what is on the menu today?
some good smelling food. I'm sorry, Bonnie, you can't smell it today, but it smells good. um,
Man,
our dessert today is an apple dumpling. And the reason I'm doing an apple dumpling, first of all, I like apple dumplings. That's beside the point. But I had went to Amish country with my daughter last week, and I bought a whole bag of apples. These are actually Honey Crisps. And
mm.
so, you got to eat them, a week or so is about all they last. So I thought, I'll just make apple dumplings. I'll eat more of them that way.
Well, as you're starting with apples, so that's kind of healthy. So we'll
Yeah,
go with that. We'll just start with that.
it is. And I think for every apple dumpling I eat, I'll probably eat a regular apple too. So I'm getting my apples. I bought some pears, and the pears were delicious. So some good fruit out there right now.
Oh,
Um,
good.
Yeah. Make sure, you go out and find, we have a couple apple orchards in the area. Search them out, get some fresh apples because there's nothing like a fresh apple. It's really good.
Good. Okay. What are we starting? We have to do dessert first. So we
Do.
always do dessert first here. So
When we get done with dessert, though, we're going to do a taco casserole. I seen the recipe and I thought, man, that sounds easy and good. So we're going to do that
okay.
after dessert. Okay, I'm going to start with just an apple. I have one of these gadgets that you cut an apple with. It cuts it into 8 pieces, and it actually cores it for you too. It's got a hole right in the center. Can you see that?
I
Hole
have
in
one
the
of
center?
those too, and I love it.
Yeah, I think I eat more apples when I use this because I don't have to manually cut it, whatever. But it's just really handy, and especially for this recipe, all the apple segments come out the same size. So let's
Gotcha.
cut our apple, and you just put it over top of your core and push down. And then this, whoop, come back here, don't fly out there. Um, so then all your apple pieces come off, and there's your core stuck in the center, see?
I love it. It's perfect. It's
And
perfection.
you just push that off, and you're done with it. Look, all done. You just rinse it off, and you're done. Okay, so I have all my apples cut, which was quick and easy. You do want to peel the apple peel off of them. Now, if you're eating an apple, if you can actually digest and chew the peel, it's actually really good for you. It has a lot of nutrients in it. So make sure you eat your apple peel if you can. If not, go ahead and peel the apple.
So we're not doing it for today's apple dumpling?
No, it makes it a little tough.
Okay.
Once it cooks, you could probably leave the apple peel on if you didn't mind that, but I'm peeling them today. So we're just going to peel our apples. I think all the markets right now, there's an apple orchard out 26 in Marietta that I think it's Hidden Hills Apple Orchard. I've actually taken the cooking club out there a couple times. They have wonderful apples and cider. You might check the website to make sure they're ours, but they have
What's it called? Hidden Hills?
Hidden Hills,
Hidden
yes,
Hills. Okay.
out beyond Marietta. It's a little dry, but the couple that owns it were very nice and always let the cooking club come out and enjoy lunch and eat apples.
Oh, that's nice. We'll have to check that out.
Yep. Okay, my apples are all peeled. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to spray 8x8 pan. So this has been sprayed with just a cooking spray. Then I'm going to take a crescent rolls. I always challenge to open these. You just take the crescent rolls, and I'm going to pop that open, and they come out in triangles. I'm sure we've all eaten crescent rolls.
Yeah. My grandson likes to do that part, that pounding part. That's his job.
I need him.
Yeah.
We're going to separate them into triangles. So when you pull them apart, you get a little triangle. So we're going to lay those out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll the apple up inside that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you start with the larger end. So make sure you lay your apple in the larger end, and you just roll it up. And you sort of tuck those in, sort of seal the sides if you can, and lay them down in your pan. So we're going to do that with all of our apples.
Well, that's all pretty easy.
It's a very easy recipe, and it is delicious, especially with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, which I forgot. So let me get these rolled and put them in my pan.
Well, when I make them, I'm not going to forget the ice cream.
I looked to see if I had any Cool Whip, and I didn't even have any Cool Whip. So I'm just going to have to enjoy the apple dumpling as it is. This is just an easy recipe, quick. It doesn't take very long. So I'm rolling those apples out and putting them in there. And I think fresh apples is just wonderful.
Now, can you use any kind of apple?
Yes.
Because I really like Granny Smith apples, which are a little more tart. But you can use any of them?
Yes. They do suggest a little tartar apple and probably a little firmer apple. If you get a soft apple, some of those soft ones, Red Delicious sometimes can be soft. You just want a little tart apple. So
Gotcha.
I've got these all in my pan. And on top of my stove, I actually melted a stick of butter, which is a half a cup. And I put to that, as soon as the butter melted, I put 3/4 cup of white sugar. And to that, I put a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I stirred that all up. And you let it cook until it thickens just a little. So I've already got mine cooked. Use a little whisk it up, and let it thicken. So I'm going to pour this over top of my apples. So let me pour that over my apples. And I did put a little bit of vanilla, half a teaspoon of vanilla in this too. So I'm going to pour this over my apples. This is
Oh my God, it's thick. It's really thick.
Yeah, right off the stove. It's not quite so thick, but I cooked this.
But I think the thick looks better.
Yeah.
It's going to stick better.
It'll get gooey. Okay, I got that all over.
You say gooey like that's a bad thing.
Okay, now to this, we're going to take 3/4 cup of 7-Up.
Ooh.
And we're going to pour that over our apples. Now, I've used Mountain Dew before, but this one actually calls for 7-Up. So I'm going to do 3/4 cup of 7-Up.
Is that 3/4 cup?
Yep.
Wow.
And I'm going to pour it over top. And you don't mix or anything. You just pour it over top. And then I'm going to put this in a 350 oven for, I think I did, the one I did this morning, I think I had it in there 45 minutes. So 40 to 50 minutes. Just watch the top to get brown. When the tops get brown, you can take it out of the oven.
Is it
so
covered?
These will be
covered or uncovered?
Uncovered.
Uncovered. Okay.
All that liquid will sort of evaporate in the oven, and it'll create something wonderful. Let me stick those over by the oven. This is what we did.
The
Look at
magic
that.
oven. Oh,
Yeah.
tip it up a little more. Let me see. Oh,
Oh, my
yeah, that's
liquid.
gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, so that's going to be dessert, and they're still warm.
So that's what your kitchen smells like right now.
Yeah, that and taco casserole. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is our taco casserole. The recipe calls for a 9 by 13 pan, which is bigger. But I made one earlier, and I'm making this one, so I'm sort of just dividing it. So first thing you do is I'm going to spray my pan. Well, first thing you do, you brown your hamburger, which I've already done this morning.
Right.
And you add onion. You add 1/3 of a large onion. Now, I cut a medium onion in half and just used half of a medium onion.
Gotcha.
This was the size of my onion this morning, and I just used half of it. So I took my ground beef, and I browned my ground beef, and I added my onion, and then I drained off the grease, the hamburger grease, when it was done, because I don't like all that grease in it. And then to that, I added a can of enchilada sauce.
Okay.
Added a can of green chilies.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? How come there's no taco seasoning in there? But I was going to do it as the recipe says. So you add that to your skillet, and you just sort of stir that around, and then you add 2 ounces of cream cheese to that. So it sort of thickens it a little, adds a little cream cheese. Here's sort of what it looks like when it was done.
So that's with all of the chilies and the cream cheese.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Now, I think if you wanted to use taco seasoning and not look for these, you could use taco seasoning. You just probably want to add a little extra water or something to make it a little more liquid, because both of them are liquid, and it just makes it a little easier to put in your pan. Okay. But you could use a taco mix, you know, one of those little packets instead of this. But this gave it a really good flavor. So I'm really excited about this.
Good. Okay. Because I usually just use the taco seasoning. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got my meat done. I got my hamburger done with all the chilies in it. And I've got a bag of Fritos. And I have a bag of cheddar cheese.
Oh.
Now, the other one, I actually used a Mexican blend cheese, which is no big deal. It's just different cheeses. So this is just sort of, you layer it like a lasagna. So in the bottom, you put your Fritos. So you put a layer of those, like your crust, like your noodle. And then I'm going to add my meat sauce. So I'm going to put half of it, because I'm going to put 2 layers. I think I'm going to get 2 layers in here. So I put my meat sauce, and I'll sort of just smoosh it down.
Okay.
And then on top of that, I'm going to put a layer of cheese. Of course, I like cheese. It calls for 1 package of cheese. Now, I bought an 8-ounce package, and it barely did the small pan for me, because I love cheese. So if you want a little bigger package, you can do that.
What is that, a 2-cup package?
It's 8 ounces, so it'd be a 1 cup. It'd be what? 8 ounces. I think it'd be a little less than a 2 cup, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You asked me all the hard questions, don't you?
I'm sorry. I just know if I go to the store and buy a bag of cheese, I usually look if it's a 2-cup or 4-cup, or that's kind of how I shop. So I don't necessarily look at ounces.
Yeah, I think this would be more like a 1 cup.
Okay.
Let me see. It'll tell. Yeah, it doesn't really tell me, but I think it's probably a bit close to a 1 cup.
Okay.
Okay, I put some more Fritos, and then I'm going to finish up with my meat sauce. Now, Bonnie, do you make taco casserole?
Tampico does.
You're funny.
Well, I don't cook a lot myself because I live alone, so I don't really cook a lot. So,
Yeah.
but that's something I could make as a family thing for like my daughter and my grandson.
Yes, they would probably both like
Because I
this.
think they would both like it and it would be
Easy to do. It's really
easy
easy.
to do. And if he could help me make that stuff, that would make him happy.
Yep. So on top of this, I'm going to put another layer of cheese. And then I'm going to bake this at 350. Not very long, really just till your cheese bubbles and brown. So I think I had this in there 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. So it's whatever.
Right, because everything is actually cooked already, right? You're just melting.
Yep, yep. Okay, so I'm done with that, and I'll bake that. And this is what it looks like before it's baked.
That cheese looks yummy.
And then the magic of the oven, I've got one already baked.
I love your magic oven.
Yeah. Now on top of this one, I actually put some green onions and I put some black olives. Now you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I did.
That looks great.
I also, when you go to serve it, and you could probably do it before you serve it, but this is still a little warm. You do lettuce and tomatoes, and you put it on there. It might wilt the lettuce a little. So I'm going to do it as we serve it here. So
it's just like a taco salad. You're just adding all your little toppings.
Yep. So let me get a piece of that out of there for us.
So how are the Fritos in that after you bake them?
I don't know. I'll tell you in just a minute.
Do they feel crunchy?
No. Okay, there's my taco. If you can see that. Along the edge, it's a little crunchy, but and then let me add some lettuce. So I've already shredded some just iceberg lettuce. So we're going to do some lettuce. And then I'm going to put a few tomatoes on there. And some olives, some more olives. And then I've actually got a green onion. I think I'm going to cut a little bit of green onion up on mine. Of course, my husband won't like that.
Of course not.
So we'll not do that for him.
That looks good.
Yeah, and then I've got some salsa.
I was thinking sour cream, maybe.
Oh, I do have sour cream. You're right.
Well, I'm just thinking this is what I would put on mine if it was in my house.
Yeah, I'm going to put some salsa, and I'm going to get the sour cream. What would I do without you, Bonnie?
Yeah, that's why we're doing this for the fun.
That's right. We know how to eat, don't we? So let's
We
put
do.
sour cream right on top.
Yeah.
That. Now that's lunch.
That is a really nice lunch.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
It looks great too.
Yeah.
Tip it up there a little bit. Let me see how pretty it looks.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
Just a second, I'll tell you if the Fritos are crunchy or not. No. A little bit. I think along the edge, some of them are crunchy, but they are wonderful.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
This would be good for your family. They would like this.
Oh, I'm sure they would. They love anything like Mexican type food.
Okay. Let me dish up an apple dumpling. Oh, these are wonderful too.
Too bad we don't have ice cream for those.
You know, I don't think I really care.
It looks great. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so nice. Now try that and see if the apples are nice and soft.
Okay, let me test it. Look. Oh, baby, is this wonderful. That crust. That crust is crunchy.
Oh, baby. Yeah, this, it looks good.
Mm. I'm glad I made 2 cans of that.
So, see, I guess you're enjoying that, right?
Mm. This is wonderful. And even together, you get your savory and then you get your sweet.
It looks
So
fabulous.
it is just wonderful.
Well,
So
that
that's
looks
what.
great.
Yeah.
Where's your water? You haven't been drinking your water.
Right here. I've got my water.
Got to keep your water so you can be hydrated.
You do. You do. You know, sometimes I think we just don't drink enough water. So I think it's very important.
It is. It is. So
Yeah.
because we have to stay what?
Hydrated.
Hydrated, healthy, independent, and productive.
Right. We need to stay hip.
We need to stay hip. And we are, of course. Well,
Now,
it looks good.
Yeah. Let me talk about next week a little bit. My daughter bought me an Instapot.
Oh.
And she bought it for me at least a year ago, if not longer. And I've probably used it 3 times. So I decided I'm going to have to learn how to use this. And I have had a few people ask me about my Instapot. So I think what we're going to do next week, and I did try this with her, we're going to cook some, it's like an electric pressure cooker, and I actually cooked a spaghetti squash. And it came out perfect. So I think we're going to do some squash in here. I think we'll do a spaghetti squash, and then I think I'll do a butternut squash.
Well, that'll be nice. I've never used one of those, so it'll be nice to see how it works.
Yes. I know some people's had them and just give them away because they don't know how to use them, and that sort of was me. I was just storing it. So I'm going to try to start using this a little bit, and I'll let you know what I cook in it. My brother just got an air fryer, and I know a lot of people are into air fryers right now. So maybe I'll borrow it from him, and we'll try some things in the air fryer too.
Okay.
But next week we're going to do some squashes. And then I'll tell you how to eat them and how to cut them and things like that.
That'll be perfect. Okay, I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, it'll be good. And we'll be in the kitchen again.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, I'm excited for this week also, and it looks pretty good, but next week also.
Yep.
Well, thanks for being with us again this week. It was fun again. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Thanks, Becky. Bye.
Bye-bye.